Hi everyone, welcome to Impact Academy. I'm Yashasvi Chintada. Let us continue with the polity from the 31st question. So consider the following statements with reference to federalism. The Indian federal system is formed through integration. So you can say in Indian federal system, the country was majorly formed by integrating various princely states and territories into a single nation. So by the time of independence, we had much of the territory was under what is said the Madras presidency, Bengal presidency, etc., northwestern frontier province, all that kind. But there were many princely states, especially the Hyderabad under Nizams and what is it, Kashmir and Junagadh, etc. So there are several princely states. So most of these princely states have been along with other territories have been integrated into the India. So even Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel ji played a very important role, and that is why the Statue of Unity, because he played a very important role in uniting all the territory of India. Okay, and Hyderabad was annexed through police action, and Kashmir, we know what happened, and so all those things. So basically, first statement is correct through integration. So if you look at the second statement, the Indian Constitution opted for the Canadian model of federalism to establish a unitary state system of government with a supreme central authority. So you can say this is not very correct because the Indian Constitution does not establish any unitary system. Okay, we have a federal government and we have a division of powers, etc., between state government, central government. So division of power comes under part 7, right? That's also very important. Let us quickly schedule 7. Sorry. So it's very important. Just look at it briefly. Division of powers between union and the states. Okay, list 1 is union list, state list, and concurrent list. So in list 1 there are 100 subjects. Okay, and list 2 it contains 61 subjects. Originally 66 were there. 5 of them have been removed and added in the concurrent list. And those 5 are we've seen multiple times. Forests, weights and measures, education, etc., etc. So all that is very important. So remember this. Union list is very exhaustive. It contains banking, postal department, defense, and all those things. Yeah, those things which require a certain kind of uniformity in the whole country, and it contains 100 subjects. State list mostly you'll have law and order, agriculture, electricity, and all these things. Okay, and concurrent list. Okay, concurrent list also contains most of this, what is a forest, education, weights and measures, and all these things. So this is very important, and this is seventh schedule. Now let's go back to the question. So the question, the Indian Constitution opted for Canadian model of federalism to establish unitary system of government with a supreme central authority. So it is not right because there is a clear division of powers. Okay, so states are not. There is a statement also. States are not mere appendages of the center. They are proper what is the individual working centers of power, etc. Some many statements are there. So basically, states have their own powers, especially in law and order, agriculture, etc. The state has complete authority. Okay, that's why even the police. Okay, we frequently see in news, right? Whatever the state government says, the police. You can see that the police are in more control of the state government than in the central government of a particular state. Anyway, just to give you an idea. So the third statement, the framers of the Indian Constitution adopted a federal system as it ensured uniformity in laws and policies across all regions. So if you observe India, India as a nation has very, it's very diverse. Okay, lot of languages and lot of cultures. They usually say like any 100 kilometers you go, the culture changes, the food habits change, the language changes, dialect changes, everything changes. So right from the beginning, the constitution, the what to say, the framers of the Indian constitution never tried to bring a certain uniformity because they realized the complexity. So this federal system which we adopted is basically to provide for a larger framework, okay, which allows for regional autonomy while maintaining integrity of the nation. Okay, they want to maintain the integrity of the nation, but they also want regional autonomy. So at that time, there was no what is a thought of bringing a uniform law. Okay, where I mean, though Article 44 and all, Article 44 is frequently in use, right? So let us quickly look at Article 44 also. So Article 44, Uniform Civil Code for all citizens. So this is frequently in use, right? So there is one article which tries to bring the Uniform Civil Code for citizens. But in general, if you look at the federal system, why we adopted the federal system? It was not to ensure uniformity in laws and policies across all regions. Rather, it was adopted mostly to cater to the diverse needs of the country. So different states have different needs. Okay, so in order to bring all of them together, we have adopted a federal system of government. So in that way, if you look at it, only the first statement is right. Right? The Indian federal system is formed through integration of princely states and all those things. So option C, one only is the right answer. So only this is the right option. These two are wrong. Try to remember that. Okay. The books Bhavan Kashi, Subodh Ratnakar, and Go Get Education are related to which of the following personalities? So, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, mostly we remember the his journals, his newspapers like Kesari, Maharata, Home Rule Movement, etc. Those things. Okay, B.R. Ambedkar, obviously drafting committee chairman, father of the Indian Constitution, and several labor, Indian labor, ILO, that something is there, and so several other things. And Annie Besant also we have seen associated with the Home Rule movement, especially and the first women president of the Congress, all those things. So Savitri Bai Phule, she is the wife of famous social reformer Jyotiba Phule. So she was what you can say first female teacher in India. Okay, so Jyotiba Phule is a social reformer and he tried to impart education to girls. So first he provided education for his wife Savitri Bai Phule. So both of them they opened many night colleges etc. and they tried to provide education. So their main focus was on education, especially education of the backward classes, oppressed, okay, especially women education, etc. So, in that, from that point of view, you can identify that when you say "go get education." Okay, so "go get education" is basically a poem written by. She is also a poet. Also, she is an educationalist, social reformer, and also poet. She and they are from Maharashtra. So, and along with her husband Jyotiba Phule, they played a very important role in improving women's rights in India. So, try to remember all that. And apart from this, what you say, she published Kavya Phule. Okay, one of her work is Kavya Phule, and the another book is Bhavan Kashi Subodh Ratnakar. And one of the poems she has written is Go Get Education. Okay, so those are all very important points. So from this education itself, you can make out it is Savitribai Phule. It is C. So with reference to the federal structure, okay, federal features of the Constitution of India, consider the following statements. The Indian Federation is a destructible union of indestructible states. Now, if you look at the US, what is the US federal structure, what they say is the indestructible union of indestructible states. Okay, that means the states cannot be destroyed and the union also cannot be destroyed. But in Indian case, it is usually said it is a indestructible union of destructible states. So what that means is destructible states means if you look at Andhra Pradesh, the recent example, Andhra Pradesh was one state. Today it has been divided into two states. So the state you can say it is not indestructible. Previously, if you look at Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Chhattisgarh, and Jharkhand from Bihar, etc. So all these things, if you observe that the parliament has the right, Article 3, if you look specifically, the parliament has the right to, practically speaking, destroy the states, as in change the boundary, alter the boundary, increase the size, destroy. So it is definitely not indestructible states. and the union. So if a country, if a state, if say future Tamil Nadu or any state wants to secede from the union of India, it is not possible. Okay, the Constitution of India does not allow for a session seceding from the Indian Union. So the Indian Federation is a indestructible union of destructible states. So first option is wrong. So if you look at the second option, Indian Federation follows the principle of equality in the representation of states in the upper house of the parliament. So upper house means basically the Rajya Sabha. So in the Indian system, you can see, for example, in Uttar Pradesh, the number of MPs who are coming from Uttar Pradesh to the Rajya Sabha is very high compared to you take Goa, for example. In Goa, there might be only one MP, but in UP, there might be multiple MPs. I'm talking about Rajya Sabha also. Okay. So there is no principle of equality. In the US, for example, if there are 52 or 54 states, irrespective of whether you're a very big state, okay, some states may be geographically, financially, economically very strong, and there could be some states very, but irrespective of the size of your state, they all have two members. So even if you are a big state, you have two members in the Senate. Even if you are a small state, you have two members. Okay, so this principle of equality in the representation of states in the upper house of the parliament is there in the US system. It does not have, it is not there in the Indian Federation. So both 1 and 2 are wrong, and the constitution divides the powers between center and the states. So just some time back we have seen, right? We have seen Schedule 7. So the Schedule 7 talks about the, and also let us quickly see Schedule. See. So, fourth schedule, we are talking about Rajya Sabha allocation of seats, right? The allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha to the states and the union territories is governed by the fourth schedule. So, as per the fourth schedule, the allocation takes place, Rajya Sabha, and not all are equal. Some large states like Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, they might get more seats. Smaller states like Sikkim, Goa, okay, etc., they might get less seats. So, principle of equality is not there, and division of powers is clearly there, union list, state list, etc. So if we go back to the question, um, so these two are wrong. Only three is right. So option D would be right. Right? Option D. Okay. So let us look at 34th question. With reference to the Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award, consider the following statements. It is frequently in news, right? So this Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award is the second highest, is the wrong statement. It is the highest award, especially for this overseas citizens. Okay, overseas Indians, basically NRIs. Okay, non-resident Indian, NRI, OCI, and all these things are there, right? Those who are not residing in India, for them, the highest civilian award, the Indian award, is Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award. In general, if you talk about the highest civilian award, that is the Bharat Ratna. Okay, Bharat Ratna is the highest civilian award, and highest civilian award for this overseas Indians is Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award. So this is wrong. It is not second highest. Okay, and the award is conferred by the President of India. That is true. And usually this is celebrated on the 9th of January every year. Okay, every year 9th of January. And why 9th of January? Because 9th of January is the day when Mahatma Gandhi came back to India from South Africa. So he was a very prominent personality in South Africa, and he came back to India, and he, what you say, he did a lot of good for the country. So the idea is to encourage these overseas Indians to contribute whatever they can to the growth story of India. So anyway, so the award is conferred by the President of India. So that is true. So what is the option? Only two only, right? So it is answer B, right? So this is a very standard question and frequently asked. The source of the Constitution. Consider the following page with reference to the features of the Indian Constitution. And the sources. So it's talking about Germany, French, South Africa, Japanese, right? So let us go to the source of the constitution. Okay, the sources of the constitution. Try to frequently questions are asked. So try to observe everything. So he asked about Germany, right? So where Weimar Constitution of Germany. So we have borrowed the suspension of fundamental rights during emergency. So normally when you say Germany, first thing that comes to mind Hitler and all those things, right? There are no fundamental rights, nothing at that time, at that point of time. Of course, now Germany is a highly developed nation. Anyway, just for you to remember a trick to remember. So just remember like that. Germany during Hitler period there was no fundamental rights, right? So suspension of fundamental rights during emergency we borrowed from Germany. And French. French means first thing that has to come to your mind is Republican ideas of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Okay. And Japanese is also very easy because there is only one thing. Okay, procedure established by law. In the in the US system, we have due process of law. That means they will keep a jury, and they will look at the jury will look at the witnesses, and the law will take its course. But in India, we follow what is called as a procedure established by law. So whatever the law says, okay, this is the process. You have to submit arguments, you have to give order, and all that. So whatever is procedure adopted by the procedure established by law, that is followed in India, and we borrowed from that from the Japanese constitution. So from the South African constitution, we borrowed the procedure for amendment of the constitution and election of members of Rajya Sabha. Now, election of members to Rajya Sabha is from South Africa, but nomination of members to Rajya Sabha. Try to observe the difference. Very important. Okay, nomination of members to Rajya Sabha we have taken from the Irish constitution, but election of members of Rajya Sabha we have taken from South Africa. Okay, election we have taken from South Africa, and the nominated members, those who are nominated by the president, right? That we have taken from the Irish constitution, and directive principles of state policy taken from the Irish constitution. Very important. And some other important from Government of India Act, we have taken the federal scheme, Office of Governor, okay, Public Service Commissions, Judiciary, emergency provisions, etc. And we have taken from British parliamentary government, rule of law, etc., bicameralism. So all these things. Australia, Canada, and Canada. Okay, Canadian constitution. We have taken federation with a strong center. So ours is a federation, but a strong center. Vesting of residuary powers in the center. Basically, the concurrent list. Okay, and appointment of state governors by center, and advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Fine. So now let us look at the question. So what it is saying, consider the following case with reference. Okay, fine. So Weimar Constitution of Germany, we saw suspension of fundamental rights. So federation with a strong center, we've seen Canada. So this is wrongly matched. So French, we've seen concepts of justice, equality, fraternity, and all those things. So liberty and all those, liberty, equality, fraternity. Okay. So nomination of members of Rajya Sabha. So I told you, election of members to Rajya Sabha is South Africa. Nomination is Irish. So this is also wrong. Okay, don't get confused here. Rajya Sabha is there in two times. Nomination is Irish Constitution. Election is South African. Advisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court is again we have seen Canada. Okay, Canadian we have federation with a strong center. This is Canada. Advisory jurisdiction, this is Canada, and Japanese procedure established, very important. Only one point we have taken from Japanese constitution, that is procedure established by law. So I would say only this fourth one is correct, right? So option A, only one. So all the other are not matching. But in general, try to remember what is what. Okay, all that is sources of the constitution is very important. Fine, we'll continue in the next class.